How you doing? My name is Haz, and for our film history project, our group project, we decided to do the history of film, go through trends. We also wanted to talk to somebody that was in the industry and get surveys on from other students on campus to get their opinions on some of the different subjects on film. We just hope you enjoy it.
Ever since the French filmmaker Georges Méliès' 1902 release of A Trip to the Moon, movies have been a part of human society for as long as we can remember. We've seen color make its way onto the big screen, which was a huge transition from the typical black and white. We've even seen audio make its way onto the big screen as well. Before, American audiences or audiences in general would have to look at captions or subtitles that would play alongside the video, in between each scene. But now a new trend has been facing the media in recent years with Robert De Niro's The Irishman and even Ang Lee's new movie, Gemini Man, starring Will Smith. And that trend is digital de-aging. Digital de-aging is a new and upcoming process in which sees actors either age rapidly to when they were younger or when they are much older. Before, this would be a process that would be done through special effects makeup. But now, ever since technology has begun to rapidly expand, we've been able to push the limits of our movie-making abilities to see actors in a much more different way. Now, this probably first came about in about the mid-2000s. Many sources point to that this first began with X-Men: The Last Stand, with Patrick Stewart and Ian McKellen's characters of Charles Xavier and Magneto rapidly de-aged to a younger version of themselves. Back at that time, medical input was put in, as well as old photos of the actors were used as reference points in order to make them appear like their younger selves. Now, has evolved to the point of where now we can actually see characters like Will Smith look exactly as how he did when he first appeared on The Fresh Prince of Bel-Air.
All right, so I'm just going to ask you some of your movie preferences. So what is your favorite and least favorite movie genres?
My favorite movie genre would have to be horror. My least favorite would have to be like a documentary.
My least favorite, it's gotta be the love stories. I'm more of an action kind of guy. So I'd say my favorite is action, my least would be the love stories. So the what is it, the drom-coms?
Oh, yeah, the rom-coms. Yeah.
Rom-coms, that's what it is.
My least favorite is romantic comedies. And my favorite is like action adventures. That's my favorite movie.
I think my favorite is like raunchy comedies, like do-nothing comedies. I think my least favorite would probably be
my favorite genre, and put on the spot. Hold on, I have to think.
Romantic comedies are definitely like my least favorite. And I have to say, horror is my favorite.
My favorite genre, my least favorite genre, I'll start with that. My least favorite genre is horror. I hate scary movies. I was born in the month of October, 10 days before Halloween, but I hate horror movies. I'm so scared. I'm just a scaredy cat. I can't. But my favorite, something that's funny but not corny funny. I don't like the comedy genre, but I do like movies that are funny. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Oh, that's a hard one. Probably like kids movies, like animated movies. Not a big fan. Not me.
Well, I've always liked comedy movies. They always had a soft spot in my heart. Spaceballs is probably one of my favorite movies of all time. Although people will probably argue that I personally have enjoyed it since I was a kid. And least favorite, I'm not sure. I feel like maybe like the action genre is getting stuff is getting a little bit overused. I don't really have a negative. I've worked in a movie theater before, so like I've seen mostly every genre that came through, so I had to get used to it. I would say the action would be my least favorite because it just seems like it's the same stuff, just exploding, people chasing after each other, good guys, bad guys, all that fun stuff. So yeah.
Okay, my favorite movie genres, I'm a huge Marvel fan, so I love like superhero movies and action movies. I love comedies and horror flicks. I always watch those with my dad. And my least favorite would have to be like drama, I don't really like chick flicks, like rom-coms. And I hate Western films. I don't like those at all.
All right. What is your favorite and least favorite genres of movies?
So, my favorite genre of music? Movies?
Movies, yeah.
My favorite genre of okay, hold on. Pause it. So, what genre of movies do you enjoy most?
I'd have to say comedy.
Yeah, I agree with that. That would be my choice too. What don't you like?
I'd have to say drama. Yeah.
Drama. We get it enough in our houses, huh? Depression. Right on.
Hi, I'm Kayla Corson, and I'm sitting here with Daniel Pace, who is a sound designer and composer who has worked on multiple productions, and we're going to get into the questions. So, question 1 is, what does it mean to write a score for a movie?
So the score is the music, basically, or even sometimes lack thereof. Like a lot of movies, it's like the rule is kind of less is more, but it's basically just like writing the music and adding that whatever emotion is trying to be conveyed in the scene, you try to help encourage that same emotion. So like you use specific scales, things like that.
So what company do you work for, or what companies have you worked for in the past?
Well, so I'm an independent contractor. Pretty much all composers are, and sound designers. Like, basically most people in post-production are usually, like, if it's above the line, so if it's anything to do with, like, the actual art of it and not the technical stuff. So, like, I've worked with Sony, I worked with Netflix. Those have been like my two mains that I've kind of stuck with for the last few years. I've worked for a couple like smaller production houses, like the guys who, what is their name? I forget the name of the company. Asylum. They did all the Saw movies. So I worked. That was actually the last thing I worked on was with them. We did a horror movie last year. Came out in theaters this last summer. It was a lot of fun.
And how often would you say you go to the movie theaters per year?
I say maybe 3 times.
Maybe like 5 times per year. Yeah, around 5 times.
About 10 times, I guess, a year.
Yeah. I don't go a lot to the movie theater. Last year I went once or twice, so I don't go a lot.
Well, whenever there's a decent movie, because you know, but I would have to go like maybe once a month.
Like maybe 6.
I'd say like 10 through 12 times. I like to go like once a month for like whatever new movie's coming out, but sometimes no good movie comes out during that month-long period. So
what is special about the film industry to you?
Ooh, that's a tough one to narrow down. I think I like the film industry as much as I do. Sorry, I smoke a lot of weed, so I'm a lot. Probably the fact that it's completely recession-proof. Like, no matter how poor people get, they still want to be entertained. They still want to see a movie. Like, literally, the film industry has never suffered. And I think it's reassuring because, like, when you work in the film industry, knowing that your industry can't go away, like, it's comforting. Right? So I think I like that probably the most. It's once you're in, it's a very secure feeling. Like, it's once you go union and you have like good directors that you work with regularly and the work's coming regularly, it's a good feeling knowing that like there's never gonna be layoffs, you know, shit like that. I don't know, it's kind of like that. So. And I also like, I don't know, man. The money, the money is really good. Like, I made $30,000 on my last movie, and that's like not even a lot. So I like how frivolously executive producers throw around money. So that's always kind of cool. And then just getting to work with like people I grew up watching on TV. You know, I've been to Eddie Murphy's house like 4 times. Technically, we're on a first name basis, I guess. Like, he knows me by name. And I've worked with like Michael Madsen from Reservoir Dogs. Worked with Adam Levine. I worked with John Mayer. Shawn Mendes, Zayn. The list goes on, but it's cool. I mean, like premieres are really cool when you get to do like the first time I ever did an interview for E, like on the red carpet. It was my first premiere. I took my mom and my chick, and I got to give my first interview like for like Entertainment Weekly or whatever, like for the show or the fucking channel or something, whatever it is now. I thought that was pretty cool. There's a lot of cool aspects, like a lot of like I made it moments, you know, like when we hired our first orchestra for the first movie that I did, orchestrated. I got to go to Culver City in LA, where I'm from, and go to the Sony studios. And so we hired a full 150-piece orchestra, and I got to like conduct it, and they all like, we recorded them playing my score that I wrote for the movie. So it was like one of those like, oh shit, this is cool, you know? It was one of those moments. So that was pretty cool.
So what do you prefer, watching movies at home or in the theater?
Depends on the movie, but I think in the theater, it has the more of the dynamic and also support the movie stars, the director, every person who's involved in the movies. Because the people go buy the movies in the theater makes money, then the employees makes money and stuff like that. So
I really like watching movies in theaters because I think you can't get that same effect that you can at home with such a huge screen and the surround sound. Of course, obviously we can try to recreate that at home, but it's just not the same unless you go to the theater. So I would say I'd prefer watching movies at the theater.
Depends on the movie. Like for Avengers Endgame, I literally went opening night and then went 5 other times in theater. But some other movies I just can't sit and watch out of theater. I have to like watch at my own pace.
Well, I don't have to pay for the movie tickets, the popcorn, the drinks. I can go to Wawa and just get stuff for like about $10. So I kind of prefer at home, but if it's a more friend event and it's like a big release is coming out, I would say the movies. But for cheaper purposes, because I don't have a lot of money, I would like to stay at home and watch movies.
I prefer the experience of being in a theater. I think I like popcorn. That stuff's cool.
At home. More comfortable.
Why? Yep.
Yeah.
The theater, it depends on the mood. If I'm hanging out with friends or something, I would prefer to go to a theater. But like if I'm staying with my family or something, I would stay at home.
Theater, for sure.
Theater.
I think I prefer going to the theater. Yeah.
Probably in the theater, just because I like the whole like atmosphere of the theater, how everyone kind of shuts up in the theater. Like that's like just a common courtesy thing.
I love theaters. Let me. All right, ready? Theaters are great. Okay, when there's quality movies, it's not about the popcorns. Okay, people, it's about the experience, the field of view, getting immersed in there. You know, that's why I think people should save up and make their own home theater systems, because it's a whole nother experience. You know, that's the way they intended for you to watch those movies and live those movies, you know.
So from the results of the survey, we found that romance and drama are the least favorite genre, with an almost over 50% of people surveyed saying that it's their least favorite. This is in contrast to when movies first came out, with the more dramatical roles of movies being the most prevalent. In today's society, most of the movies are action, comedy, or horror, and our results display that it's a pretty even split between those three. So also from the results, we found that most people prefer actually going to the movie theaters, with over 70% of people claiming that it's still their favorite way of viewing movies. It's a whole experience, like getting together with your friends or family and going to the movies, sitting in a dark room with a bunch of people you enjoy, and just sitting down, watching a movie for a couple hours and quiet. It's a whole experience, as opposed to only 8 people said that they liked watching movies at home, mainly because of the cost of going to movies today.
film is up there as being the most important genre in media. I mean, movie stars are the biggest celebrities on the planet. They make the most money. You've been in Hawaii. Jr. He's made $50 million film for doing an Avengers movie, a comic book movie. And this is a cat that had a detailed drug problem, was in and out of jail, did prison time, but yet this man can come out and command $50 million a film. Movies and film, they transcend different genres in media, where you can watch a movie on television. You can get promotions for movies on radio, through new media. You can watch movies through new media. There's
Dr. Prentice.
There's just, I mean,
I'm so pleased to meet you.
the movie industry, the film industry is just huge, and
I take it Joanna's already busted out with the big news.
Industry,
Well, she has
it can be
told me a
very
good deal,
huge
and
and
all
very,
very quickly, too.
very satisfying, very rewarding.
Only known me for 10
you
days,
become
so she
wealthy.
can't tell you when I'm blushing.
Being an executive producer on
another problem.
a hit film can bring in a lot of money for you. So, movie studios are huge. They're like big giant corporations. I mean, like, we can go on and on, but we found through the research that we did that film is definitely probably the most important genre in media. It's and it doesn't seem like it's ever gonna slow down. So I hope you guys enjoyed the film. We had a lot of fun with the surveys. We want to appreciate Daniel Pace for taking the interview with Kayla, and hope you guys enjoyed the film. Thank you.
Thank you for your time.